Well, I'm back with another PowerPoint I've put together, and I've called it Yahweh's Ledger and Easter Island Revisited. The photograph of the clouds in the sky I took yesterday morning coming back from town. Just a glorious day. Now, Yahweh's Ledger, what is it? Well, it's a black folder, 96 pages, A3 size, that Yahweh prepared for the court at Campbelltown, Justice Morgan. And some of you, or many of you, may already be familiar with it, but a few years ago I got what Yahweh had prepared, and I put it inside this black plastic folder to preserve. It was pretty well very tattered, but preserving this incredible work that Yah prepared in 1997. Just to give you an idea, this now is what the pages look like, the final page being his proclamation as the key of the house of David, and there's Michelle Nye's signature there. It's dated December the 8th, 1997, in honour of the birthday in 1544 of Mary, Queen of Scots, she being the true Queen of the United Kingdom. 96 pages, and it is stunning. You can stop these if you want to. I won't read it myself. Let's move on. But in 1997, Yah had already focused on the Easter Island prophecy, Armageddon in stone. This tiny little dot on the map, 5,000 miles from the South Pole. Just remarkable. Again, stop this if you want to read it yourself. There's 4 pages there that I was able to take and photograph from Yahweh's Ledger. Now, in the PowerPoint where I was focusing on the measuring time and distance from Yah's departure until the coming annual eclipse on the 2nd year anniversary of Yah's departure, took him time, 3:10 at, that's the 3rd of October at 4:46 a.m, took him time. However, I did talk about that solar eclipse, the 44:14, Isaiah 44:14, where Yah finally found me where he had hidden me, all because of the branch that had been angelically ripped from this very tall, healthy tree that prevented us from getting back to the farmhouse at the time. So it was on the 15th of January, it was a Friday, so it was the 12th of January when this was occurring with us. And after our work and recording, we would mostly go into the Castle Main pub for their pub meal of chicken schnitzel and salad, whatever. Usually some very interesting characters we'd end up talking with. So this measurement here, passing the tip of India and then up through Myanmar and China. And the distance, it must have been 4,414 nautical miles from Harcourt, crossing over the 25-degree latitude. Yah always measures where they cross on the 25 latitude, north or south. Now, the second line on the left is a solar eclipse we're going to be taking a look at that occurred on July the 11th, 2010. And this one occurred over Easter Island. It was a total solar eclipse versus the annular eclipse able to be viewed from Easter Island so spectacularly. Lots of people spend their lives chasing these eclipses wherever they are over the globe at best advantage. They save and just make it their life's mission, bucket list, whatever you like, to be there. Now, you'll remember from that solar eclipse, I finished the PowerPoint presentation with a photograph of Venus and then the cross, but at the timing that I took Venus at, actually it was Amber who took the photograph and sent it to me, so it was 6:49 p.m. when she took but Venus in the sky for 767 minutes from 766 in the Hebrew Concordance, which is Ash, found in the verse we're focusing on, Isaiah 44:14. So I measured from that eclipse, 15th of January 2010, until the coming eclipse, not too far away at all now, and it's rounded down 767 weeks from 766 in the Hebrew, Ash. All right, so let's take a look at the solar eclipse of July the 11th, 2010, Universal Time, 2012. And this is a photograph from the web. The sun is seen partially covered by the moon on Easter Island, 3,700 kilometres off the Chilean coast in the Pacific Ocean on July 10th, 2010. So, but from Yah's own work, it was Lunation 1083, and from his phone concordance and Bible program, he was taken to the verse, the shortest verse in all the Bible, Jesus wept. And it's Luke 11:35, I think. And the whole world has gone after him. Did all the world go after Christ? Then went all Judea and were baptized of him in Jordan. Was all Judea or all Jerusalem baptized in Jordan? Quoting, ye are of God, little children, and the whole world lieth in the wicked one. Does the whole world there mean everybody? The words world and all are used in some 7 or 8 senses in Scripture, and is very rarely the all means all persons taken individually. The words are generally used to signify that Christ has redeemed some of all sorts, some Jews, some Gentiles, some rich, some poor, and has not restricted his redemption to either Jew or Gentile. Ye are of God, little children, and God is a little child. So this all from... This work was done, I believe, in 2017, but looking back at the eclipse of July 11th, 2010. And spectacular photograph here, somebody taking this, the sun rising in on the island. Now, I was, have this conversation with Yah, like on the inside of me, and it's like measure from here. So I measured from that eclipse until the coming one, and it on the left there, that's the eclipse of 2010, and UTC time it started at 2012 until UTC time. It'll be the second, the third here in Tugam, but the second at 6:46 p.m. So the distance in time is 5196 days, 22 hours and 34 minutes. Or rounded down, 742 weeks. However, I always look at the seconds because I tend to convert everything to the speed of light. And so we've got 449,015,640 seconds, and that means at the speed of light 5,196 days is 0.3344713 yada 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 of one day, or a little over 8 hours, 8.0273 hours. Now, of course, in the heavenly realm, everything occurs at the speed of light. When Yah departed Harvey Bay Hospital at 7:37 p.m., I immediately thought to myself, he's caught a plane at the speed of light. And yeah, that's what the heavenly realm is. It operates at the speed of light. Now, so going back over Easter Island at 3:16 p.m., so this is local time, Easter Island, July 11th, 2010, Yah wrote, the first solar eclipse in 1400 years had just occurred. The eclipse on this day was one of the most remote in recorded history. It was visible over much of the southern Pacific Ocean, but due to the remoteness of Easter Island, caused considerable interest. An internet quote. One of the most unique things about this particular eclipse is that it crosses a unique and interesting archaeological site, Easter Island. On Easter Island, there are these great statues. There's a lot of mystery about these statues, but in any case, this is the first total eclipse to hit the island in about 1400 years. And if you remember from the PowerPoint I uploaded, looking in the Strong's Concordance, remember Greek 1400 doesn't exist, which I thought was particularly, and here it is repeated here. Now, we don't have to, you can read for yourself. I'll just skip down. Totality was observed for 4 minutes and 41 seconds on Easter Island, where it was observed for the first time in 1400 years. Approximately 4,000 observers visited Easter Island for this eclipse, including tourists, scientists, photographers, filmmakers and journalists. Okay, so we're looking at the number 1815 because the eclipse began 700 kilometres away, southeast of Tonga, at approximately 1815 UTC and reached Easter Island by 2011 or 1411 local time. So the 1815 in Greek is resurrection, arising again. And 430 in Hebrew is God. 1400 Hebrew, a certain man. Again, a man, a certain one, used by the lovely people to avoid saying the name Jesus. And it really irritated Yah, and that's what started him off on the Revelation, June the 17th, 1990. So I have brought over from the PowerPoint that was put together in 2017 a reference last night's intro to Easter Island. Not all of it, but just some interesting points about Easter Island. Now, Yah had June the 17th, 2 BC, the birth of Jesus. The stars over Easter Island were Alpha and Omega, this tiny dot on the map, Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end. And combined, there were 1689 minutes. So Alpha risen for 802 minutes, Omega for 887. Now, what is very interesting is that 887 is the number of statues that they officially account. There's actually 888 because they discount the Asherah. But anyway, we'll get to that. So the magnitude, Omega in Capricorn, magnitude of 4.1. In my world, it is clue, it is home, and it's also holy. So, total duration, 887. So this is in the sky at the instant of Jesus' birth. But this is what Easter Island looks like. Hello! Yah wrote, famed for its iconic stone statues, also one of the most remote communities in the world. It's more than 1,200 miles away from the closest inhabited island and 2,180 miles from Chile, the nearest large land mass. The island is 15.3 miles by 7.6 miles. As a simple math, it is in square miles 116.28. The Great Pyramid, altar to the Lord, antechamber is 116.26 pyramid inches wide. And Easter Island is famous for its 887 extant monumental statues called moai. So Yah wrote, hello, and I have recorded this, but I realised going back through the original recording, the video was so bad, and Amber confirmed, yeah. So I do apologise, several years late. Anyway, Yah wrote one short of 888. It was taken over by the Chilean government in 1888 when the population was only 111 people, killed off by European diseases. Now, here Yah wrote that Rano Raraku Quarry is home to El Gigante, Yahweh, and his consort Asherah. 2 stars overhead in the same location in Capricorn, the constellation in the sky, as on Easter Island, since it is identical in shape to the constellation Capricorn. On the date of discovery, so we're talking about the 2 stars overhead on the date of discovery, which just happened to be April the 5th, 1722, Resurrection Day, hello, they were numbered 31, rising at 2:47, setting at 16:08 for 801 minutes, a magnitude 6.3, and numbered 30, rising at 2:45, setting at 1609 for 1804 minutes, combined 1605 minutes. Now this is extremely important, this piece of information, considering what is occurring in the world today. And you know the ones, if their lips are moving, they are lying. And the support by the Christian world for the liars. Here it is here, the crux. 804 in Hebrew Concordance is Assyria, the second son of Shem, eponymous ancestor of the Assyrians, the nation of Assyria. They are Shem, or Sem, are the Semites. Do you understand what I'm telling you? The liars occupying the holy lands of Palestine. Throw out anti-Semite if you critique their evil, if you speak against them and call them out for their absolute evil that they have perpetuated from the instant that they became the oppressors in Palestine before 1948. The Shemites are the Semites, the ancestors of the Assyrians, which is actually northern Iraq area, the nation of Assyria, running down into today's Syria, but back then, northern Iraq. Now in Greek, it is certainly true. Combined 1605 Greek, to be astonished, be amazed, drive out, panic, startling, alarm. And 801 was the rise of Jupiter over Bethlehem on June 17th, 2 BC, the birth of Jesus. Right, so Yah has typed in here 23 stars in Capricorn. Hebrew, Poa, my father has gathered together. Take away, perish, Armageddon. Now, the 202 of YBS 7819 is the 202 layers of the altar to the Lord. That's up to the summit platform as it is today. Yah wrote, 2 stars overhead, April the 5th, 1722, the discovery of Easter Island in Capricorn, 30 and 31. 30 minutes, 2:45, so 8:04 minutes. So again, we're back to Shem, the Shemites, the true Semites, the ancestors of the Assyrians, northern Iraq today. Now Shem, it means name. So the Hashemites, which are the occupants of Jordan, they call themselves the Hashemites. Hashem is the name. Well, the name is Yahweh, the one they refuse to say. That's the occupiers, the devil itself. The Semites are the ancestors of the Assyrians. So Yah has there that YBS 7865 risen for a total of 796, and then YBS 7819 risen for a total of 79 Earth is the Earth width 7920 miles. Hebrew 7819 is kill, slaughter, sacrifice, person in human sacrifice, and that is Judaism. That is what occupies the Holy Lands today. 7865 in Hebrew, another name, Sion, another name for Mount Hermon. Sion, Psalms 133 verse 3 has an English gematria of 1353, and in the Hebrew is redeem, kindred, redemption. We're not talking about the evil ones, the occupiers, the oppressors, the synagogue of Satan. All right, now the volcano, and we'll go back here, this circle, the volcano, Kua. Ku, not Kua. Okay, here we go. All right, so we just looked at that, and here we are at Theravaka volcano. 507 meters, Greek 507, upward or on the top, above, brim, high up. In feet, 1664. Not marked is Rano Kua. It is 324 meters or 1,063 feet tall, extinct volcano. Total of the marked heights, 1874 meters or 6148 feet. 1874, darkon to scatter in Hebrew and Greek, to listen, to hear. So we're talking about the scattering of the statues on the island. That's what it's all about. Now, add missing Rano Kua at 370 meters, we've got 2244, which means maturity in years or size, age, stature, as big as mighty. Some of these statues are massive. 2244 in the Greek is to secrete, held, hide, do secretly. In feet, 7364.2 is merciful, and it's 11.2 feet above 7353, which is the area of the Shroud of Turin in square inches. The shroud in its fullness, 171 inches by 73. However, the image is on the single larger piece. It measures 39.5 inches by 171 for a total of 6,754.5 square inches. In square meters is 4.35773322. Now, Greek 4357 is prosmeno, meaning adhere to the gospel, hold fast to the grace of God. But in Hebrew, it's from 3615, completion, in plural, concrete, adverbially, holy, perfect. Easter, and Yah wrote then, and we talked about this being the end, of course we continued for years after that. Easter Island is the last in the miracles thus far. Of the priestly statues that have had their eyes chopped off and their ears chopped off and eyes put out. only 7 face the sea. And yes, the 7 facing the sea at the bottom, Yah wrote that this represents Judaism, wearing the Hasidic hat dominating all 7 churches of the Revelation. Coral eyes to see the Lord coming from the side of the volcano. The long ears indicate the ability to hear the words of the Lord. All of the priests had long ears but were chopped off and can no longer hear. The eyes likewise were put out, no longer able to see the Lord and his consort. The coral eyes were found scattered some distance from the priestly class. When the archaeologists arrived, they found the altars had been hit by a tsunami and washed inland. They set about setting them back onto the altars. However, they should have left them as found, as the scene represents Armageddon. In order for a tsunami to occur, it requires a continental shelf. However, there is only deep water around Easter Island, therefore scientifically it was not a wave, but was an act of God indicating what is about to occur. The statues were buried up to the chest, indicating the huge weights were only set up by what the natives retold of their myths. There were giant men who arrived from the eastern sky and carved the statues, then transported them upright through the air to be placed into prepared deep holes. Once completed, the giants left eastward, up into the clouds. And of course, a similar recounting down in Palenque when Yah visited there, the Mayan temples. So Yah writes, the entire scene is all about the world waking up to the mercy of the Almighty after the Comforter has been recognized as the Holy Ghost, the second coming of the Lord. It'll be the second coming to the world, but we who know him, it'll be a third time. Oh my goodness. All right, here's the coral eyes of one of the priests. Now, Il Gigante is measuring in distance 2,286.1 nautical miles to the 11-tiered statue. No, Yah's written statue, but he means the 11-tiered pyramid on Tahiti. Many of you will remember how much, again, Tahiti and Easter Island, so much a part of his revelation. The 2861 is the placement factor of the altar to the Lord at 286.1 pyramid inches, displacement factor. From Easter Island, El Gigante, to the Great Pyramid in Egypt is 8,717 nautical miles. In Hebrew, mood perfect. Count 1, 2, 3 from 8816, a perfect expression of a complete action. (717) in Greek is Armageddon. 8 in Hebrew is destruction, perish. Easter Island, discovered April the 5th, Easter Sunday, 1722, when Dutch navigator Jacob Roggeveen visited for a week, presumably leaving on the 12th, the same date as the resurrection, April 5th, 33 AD, in Jerusalem. As Jesus I lived 1, 2, 3, 4, 3 days, June the 17th, 2 BC, until the cross, April the 3rd. Resurrected April 5th, 33 AD, Jerusalem time. We begin with 2 numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3 days multiplied by pi equals 38776.64 divided by 10 equals 3877.66, which is what? The measure is from the South Pole to St. Margaret's maternity ward where Yah was born. Now, resurrection, 2 days later, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 multiplied by pi is 38783 divided by 10, 3,878.3 miles from the South Pole to St. Mary's Cathedral in Sydney. Now, the reason Easter Island has on it 2 statues of immense size, they are inclined at the same angle of the ascending passage within the altar to the Lord, the Great Pyramid. 26 degrees, 18 minutes, 9.6 seconds. Oh, here we go. Here's the measuring from El Gigante to the pyramid on Tahiti, the 11-tiered pyramid. So if you've got one pyramid, 11 tiers, 111, Yah's rebirth date. It's incredible. So the distance being one leg there, it's 4,236.1 kilometers. Hebrew, a vision. Greek, judgment against. The distance in miles, 2632. Hebrew, power of the king. Greek, condemnation. And then in nautical miles, 2286.1 nautical miles. Greek, deadly. Hebrew, locust. Now, what is significant here is November last year, Yah just spoke to me and said 200. Well, 200 in the Greek concordance is locust. And yes, here it is here in Hebrew, now as I'm recording this today, having found it working on this PowerPoint. Now, Tahiti itself is 5,000 miles to the South Pole. The base of the pyramid on Tahiti, 23,229 square feet. The pyramid itself measures 4,990 miles. To the South Pole, in Greek, is Saviour, Deliverer. The highest mountain on Tahiti is 7,353 feet, which is the area of the Shroud of Turin in square inches. Now, there was an eclipse of July the 4th, 1768. And that was the year that Captain Wallis, who had discovered Tahiti, then opening secret orders, he sailed to Easter Island. And naturally, the lovely people have taken his voyage out of history. They realized when Lieutenant Cook returned after his visit to Tahiti, the female consort of Yahweh had to be destroyed, sending Cook to do so in 1774. How dangerous to their demonic religion these islands are. So by demonic inspiration, they had to prevent me from exposing it. And Cook arrived on the 17th of March, 1774. Now, the first eclipse in the Great Pyramid count of the 202 layers, each one of them aligning with solar eclipses, the first one from the base was March the 17th in 1923. Cook having arrived at Easter Island 149 years earlier. And here is Gigante, and then beside him Asherah, a much smaller statue. And as those of you who have commented in last night's upload, when I stood beside, just El Gigante. So Cook used cannons from the ship to blast the statue with cannonballs and gunpowder, attempting to destroy the Asherah statue. So here we are, the eclipse of March 12, 3/12, 1774, aligning with March 12, 3/12, which Brian Leonard Golightly-Marshall is 3/12, and the announcement by Pope Benedict XVI that yes, he was contacted by Andrea Anna through Facebook and then emails. She had a half-hour audience with him, and then I communicated with him first because Yah was actually out of the house in his green machine that has just been polished up again today. And bottom line is that when Pope Benedict saw Yah's face, he just said simply, there's no other explanation. It's him, the face of the Shroud of Turin. That's what it's all about. And then his apostolic letter released to the world on the 26th of March 2013, destroying the plans of the you-know-who. It's all playing out in time. Remember, eternity operating at the speed of light. It's nothing. This time that we're going through, it's just being on the earth that we have to play catch up. So it's a matter of men are moved, wrote Yah, by divine forces to align with dates I would be born to reveal. So here we are with the eclipse, March 12, 1774, to Yah's rebirth location, and the 3072 in the kilometre length applied, a sacred name applied to the Messiah and Greek freeborn from the yoke of the Messianic law. 2944 being the upright from Yah's rebirth location to the north there, 5th of September 1744, Hebrew to pierce, thrust through. The 2945 is little children, little ones. And then the diagonal there, 1265 Greek, remain permanently. So here we are again, April the 5th, Easter Sunday, 1722, Dutch navigator Jacob Roggeveen visited for a week. Now, we've got the two numbers there, identifying St. Margaret's, the maternity ward, and St. Mary's Cathedral in Sydney, and then the two immense statues inclined at the same angle of the ascending passage within the altar to the Lord, 26 degrees, 18 minutes and 9.6 seconds. Now, 2016 in Greek is burn up, utterly consumed by fire. The location of the giant from solar eclipses of 1722 indicates the invented Holocaust of the 6 million survivors is about to be carried out angelically. Now, Yah always said, if I have to get my holy angels to do it, it won't be pretty. The year 1722 AD occurred 1689 years after the cross. The number from 1722 and 991, to look on, to observe fixedly, or to discern clearly. Behold, gaze up, look upon. 1722 is a fixed position in time, state, or place, to gaze at with wide open eyes in amazement. So we see that the cross date and 1722 are locked as references to look carefully at Easter Island. The ascending passage of the Great Pyramid, the altar to the Lord, it's easily drawn. Simply place two squares side by side and run a line from corner to corner, and there you have it. And then lay it over the incline of El Gigante, and it matches the ascending passage, indicating the king has risen with his consort, she Asherah, the original mother of Canaan, the area of Palestine, Lebanon and Syria. The lovely people hate Isaiah as he condemned the false Jews of Babylon. Isaiah 53 is all about Jesus and the second coming. April the 5th, 1722, less 33 years is 1689 in Greek, is embelpo, meaning behold, look upon, to turn one's eyes on or look at, look with the mind, from 1722. So the Jew churches, all 886 of them, are scattering in all directions, falling down. The priests have had their coral eyes taken out, their long ears smashed off, no longer able to see or hear the Lord and his consort coming from out of the volcanic rock, out of the midst of hell in the resurrection. Some stumbling, some smashed, but all running towards the sea, Sheol or hell, and certain death. Some scholars, Jews, say there are only 887 statues. They are not counting Asherah beside her husband Yahweh, are they? The total 888 is Jesus in Greek gematria. These were built by the angels. All statues are blind, and to build them an impossible task for men. Just look at the length buried under the ground. Yes, so what you see on top, it's a bit like an iceberg. Only the tip of the iceberg, well, only the tip of the statue is seen above ground. Look how far underground. On the right there, these excavations reveal what lies beneath. So yes, looking at past eclipses, Easter Island to the 20th of March, that was 2015, and the 23rd of October was before that in 2014. It's a period of 147 days. Generally, they're 177 days apart. However, intervals of 5 synodic months are extremely rare. That's the 147 days. So the discovery of Easter Island was divine. It was during the first 2 eclipses, which were synodic, 147 days between solar eclipses. These reveal 107,000 or 107,000 days. Easter Island started with the 5-month synodic and ends with the last 5 synodic month period. We see the 20th of March 2015, a period of 107 days from discovery, April the 5th, 1722. Divide 107,000 by a lunation of 29.53052 days equals, here we go, 3,623.37 or 3623. And this is the Hebrew espousal number found by reducing the pyramid base, the base of 36,524.24 pyramid inches, reduced by the displacement factor of 286.1 pyramid inches, leaves us with, hello, 3623.14, but there's your 3623. Yah wrote that he was 26,000 days old on March the 20th, 2015. This was 71.18 years of age, the same number as my stepfather's father, Alf Marshall, 26,000 days old when Yah was reborn. 7118 meaning end, and that's why I uploaded what I did last night as the intro to Easter Island. We're talking about the end. All right, let's move right along with this. And it's found in Daniel 4:34. Now this is interesting because 434 became a number given to me on 19th of February this year, so 2024. And when these things are drawn to my attention, I I remember them, and I just look for them anywhere. And here it is. For the first time, I was thinking was all kinds of things. Here it is, 434. As a matter of fact, a license plate cut me off just a few days ago, 434, and I was reminded of February the 19th at Maryborough Station Square when, a very good friend phoned me. He'd been given 434. So, at the end, 7118 of the days, I, Nebuchadnezzar, lifted up mine eyes unto heaven, and my understanding returned unto me, and I blessed the Most High. And I praised and honoured him that liveth for ever, whose dominion is an everlasting dominion, and his kingdom is from generation to generation. So, and is found also in Revelation 2:26, 21:6, and 22:13. And he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations. 21:6, and he said unto me, it is done. I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end. I will give unto him that is athirst of the fountain of the water of life freely. 22:13, I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end, and the last. And of course 226 is the length of the pyramid's queen's chamber, 226 pyramid inches. Sodom, which is the earth, to be overthrown and start from scratch, as it is a barren, unfinished room. The 216 is the moon width, 2160 miles. And this has given us to the answer to the question, when will the end be? And finally, 2213 in Hebrew is 2213, crown. In Greek, it is to think by reasoning in order to find. Now, what is interesting, and how I realize, though it was more than 7 years ago that we recorded this and put it out there, as I demonstrated at the speed of light in the heavenly realm, it is no time at all. These things must be seeded into the ether for our time on earth to get to that point in time where everything that Yah found and released into the ether, as he said, I don't care who finds me. It's the angels that need to know where I am at in this amazing script. So here with Crown 2213, before Christmas 2023, I was compelled in my, Yah keeping me busy, I was compelled to purchase 12 crowns, which is all, you can read about it all in the Revelation. So I did. It meant a day trip there and back to Brisbane, and I purchased 12 crowns. Now, what is even more interesting is that I placed them in a mother-of-pearl box that Chuka gave me for Christmas last year. And Amber bought some gold-coloured gauze little bags with ties on them, and I placed each silver crown within the gold bags. And I placed them in the box. I just put them in there. I didn't arrange them. They were just there for Yah's return, because specifically it talks about he giving the crowns. So I've just had them through obedience. Well, I was looking for something that still has not reappeared. I suspect that when Yah does get here, that he'll have it with him, perhaps. I looked inside the box where the 12 crowns are, and somebody, certainly wasn't me, had arranged them in 4 rows of 3 on a diagonal. The box is rectangular. And when I looked at them, one side is the crown, the second side are kangaroos. They had been laid out specifically, let me see if I remember. It was 3, like kangaroo up, was 3 being the first row, and then 1 in each row. So 3, 1, 1, 1. And then the crowns were organised in 3 rows, being 2, 2, 2. So you've got 1, 1, 1, Yah's birthday, and then his birth hour at 2, 2, 2. And 3 being the Trinity, of course. But let me see what it was. Just looking in my concordance now. 3, 1, 1, 1. Oh, now this was interesting because, yeah, all right. It's in the New Testament, Greek, it's the word shambles. Now, I had left the crowns in a shambles. I hadn't organised them, so they were in a shambles in the box. However, the true meaning of shambles in the concordance is a butcher's stall, meat market, or provision shop. It was called a shambles. Now, in the household amongst us, there'd been much discussion about meats and organics and all kinds of things, and had been a topic of conversation here for some time before this. So in Hebrew, it's a name of 2 Israelites. But so here it was. Yeah, all right. Okay, so let's move right along. It's anecdotal. The June the 13th, synchronizing with when, and it was me who put the message together. I actually told Yah after I did it that I wrote a message and sent him the link to Chuka's marvellous production, Simply the Best, Tina Turner, and the compilation that he'd made. He'd just finished it, so I sent Donald Trump the link to that through his Facebook, and then he did read it, because there was a tick later when I went back there. But we were moving it. It was all kinds of things going on at that time. We moved into this house shortly after. So Trump is 2.424 years younger than Yah. 2424 in the Greek concordance is Jesus. So Trump's birth confirms Yah. And yeah, it's also written into the stars by the June 13th date. So now we go to 2 verses with the name Ezekiel found within them. The book of Ezekiel has 48 chapters. The name Ezekiel has a Hebrew number 3168. That's the number listing in the Hebrew concordance, which of course is Lord Jesus Christ in Greek gematria. So Ezekiel, the name is found in 1:3. The word of the Lord came express it. You can read that. And then in Ezekiel 2424. So you've got the 2424 being the number listing in the Greek concordance for Jesus, but here we've got Ezekiel number 3168. Oh, it's just marvellous. Thus Ezekiel is unto you a sign, according to all that he hath done shall ye do, and when this cometh ye shall know that I am the Lord God. So there are 48 chapters, not verses, Yah wrote, in Ezekiel. So 48 times 3168 is 152064. Add in the 2 where his name is mentioned within the verses, within those 48 chapters. You've got 2 more, and that's a total of 50. And so 3168 times 50 is 158,400. 1584 in Hebrew is Gema, meaning end, and Greek meaning shine forth. Again, 48 chapters, Ezekiel, that's a repeat of what we've just read. 1584 is found in Psalm 7:9, which reads, O let the wickedness of the wicked come to an end, but establish the just, for the righteous God trieth the hearts and reigns. And 1584, to end, cease, come to an end, corresponding to 1584, perfect. Now, really important with what's happening in the Middle East. Next, we must understand why the demonic Jews want to destroy Damascus. Damascus, located at 33 degrees 30 minutes north. The distance from the North Pole is Zion, the holy city. and in Greek is metropolis, city. The word city is found in 777 verses, and as days is 2.127 years. They're the last 4 digits of my phone number, our phone number. But it is the word Zia, found in 1 Chronicles 5:13, and is the age that Yah's daughter Nicole was when Rhiannon was born. So Damascus is 3,904 miles to the North Pole. That is readiness, preparation, and is make ready. Preparing the marriage supper of the Lamb of God. Hebrew 3:904. A concubine, that is wife to be. Now in nautical miles 3390 from 3389 is the name pronounced Yerushalayim, a dual, in allusion to its 2 main hills. The true pointing, at least of the former reading, seems to be that of 3390. Probably, there's a great deal of explanation there, probably from the passive participle of 3384 and 7999, founded peaceful. Jerusalem, the capital city of Palestine, Jerusalem. 3390, metropolis, mother city, metropolis, chiefest city. This is why Damascus has been the goal. So, from the giant statue of Yahweh in Asherah, El Gigante, to the South Pole, 6990, Hebrew, cut off, destroy. From 1997 Hebrew, the name of a city to be founded to commemorate the defeat of Gog. However, El Gigante to the South Pole, 3772.5 nautical miles, Revelation 22:10, Greek heaven, universe, world, where God dwells. And 5, always the 5 on the end is Abba, Father in the Greek. So there, 3772 by implication, to destroy or consume, specifically to covenant, cut down, destroy, fail, be freed, hew down, make a lead, covenant, lose, perish, utterly, want. So from El Gigante, the naked giant statue, to the solar eclipse that did occur November the 14th, 2012, is 5,316 miles and 4,616 nautical miles. Both those numbers, 5316 for the base of 5457, to light and shine, that is show, appear, seem, be seen, shine, heavenly light, such as surrounds angels when they appear on earth. A star, God is light because light has the extremely delicate, subtle, pure, brilliant quality of truth and the spiritual purity associated with it. 4616 is sindone, bleached linen, the cloth of garment, fine linen cloth in which the body of the dead were wrapped, and loose garment worn over a naked body at night. Sindone, Italian for shroud, as in the name of the shroud of Turin. Sindone Torino. Right, and the scriptures in the New Testament. And when Joseph had taken the body, he wrapped it in a clean linen cloth, 46:16. Then Mark 15:46, and he bought fine linen, and took him down and wrapped him in the linen, and laid him in a sepulchre which was hewn out of rock, and rolled a stone unto the door of the sepulchre. Luke 23:53, and he took it down and wrapped it in linen, 46:16, and laid it in a sepulchre that was hewn in stone, wherein never man before was laid. Now, what are we looking at here? The 3 legs that Yah has drawn here. Total 10377.3 nautical miles, so 10,377.3 nautical miles. 1037 Greek, depth of the sea, hello. Greek 3793 is people, multitude of men who have flocked together common people. 1922 in one of those legs, 19,229. Hebrew, Hadar, to glorify God. Greek, knowledge, acknowledgement. Now, this is all occurring now. If you've listened again to Ezekiel's messages, it talks about Yah is known. There are many, many people on the earth. He's been going backwards and forwards at the speed of light, backwards and forwards, and many people know now. So, yes, in Hebrew 13:02 is the sun cut off, S-O-N. The 1922 is the year of lunation 0, December 18th, 1922, the base of the pyramid, lunation 0. And the distance between North and South New Zealand latitudes, 888 miles, which Cook discovered with the Harrison clock. The top line, where he's measuring from El Gigante, passes through Tugum, reaching to the point where the solar eclipse of November 14th, 2012 did occur. And that measured 942 miles to Yah's rebirth location at 105 Rothschild, 105 is Eagle. 942 is the number of verses contained within the KJV 1611 that have the word Jesus found 973 times, and it's 973 kilometers from this house to Yah's rebirth location. And El Gigante to Tugum, then birth home, so triangulating. We've got all those numbers there, the perimeter of 10,586.3 and a square miles of 3,575,628, etc. 948 is fine white linen. 5893 is Greek, beautiful city in its fullness of perfection, arises from its symmetrical completeness. Hebrew 5893, belonging to a city. 5117 Hebrew, remain, to rest, settle down and remain. And yes, we have. I'm in our 13th year now. Cause to rest. And the name Tugum is an Aboriginal name, and it means place of rest. Greek, surrounding space, an inhabited place as a city. 3575 is Noah, the second father of the human race. And Yah has written many times, the shroud is the only verified miracle in existence. We see how the Father flowed from the heavenly realm into the tomb, passing through the shroud, burning the outside of the cloth, passing around the lifeless body like a holy garment of white light. Conceived at the same moment, 1910 years later. The white hair of the old man, at the date that this September 28th, 2015. So just 2 days over 9 years ago now, when Yah was 71.717629 years of age. Hello, what was that? That was our telephone number in Papua New Guinea, the clinic, 71717629, our Papua New Guinea telephone number. And that's where Yah referred to it in the creation, that yes, I was responsible for us going there to begin the work of the Father, which was curing and healing the people of Papua New Guinea. Right, so the last blood moon being that date and his age. Oh, that is just so. This is a fact. The image of God with hair like wool, his garment being white, but hair like wool, the Ancient of Days. It talks about the whitest snow of his garment, but his hair like wool. I've said many times, yes, Yah's hair was like the wool of a lamb. The past, present and future occurring at the same time. The wheels within wheels is realms within realms. Ezekiel. In 7 verses of the KJV 1611, the word comforter is used. The Old Testament is saying they have no comforter, while the 4 mentions in the New Testament, Jesus speaking, he or the Father or both will send the comforter, who will speak of Jesus and the Father and remain forever and teach you all things. So although we cannot see him at this moment, we will get to that instant in time when we'll be doing an upload and it will be back. So many of you have known this for so long, but it's just remarkable. Adding the 7 comforter, 3 in the Old Testament, 4 in the New, adding the verse numbers, you get a total of 67.54, being a shade, a phantom, illusion, resemblance, image, representative figure, image. So that's the area of the image area of the Shroud of Turin. And here the center point of gravity of the altar to the Lord with the capstone in place measures 3875 pyramid inches to the apex, that being the word for comforter in the New Testament, in the Greek. The base of the pyramid, 9131.06 pyramid inches, each inch equaling 1 day, so one side of the pyramid is 25 years. So in total, 100 years. And the height there, 5813.0133 pyramid inches with the capstone in place. This is revision for most of you. Now, getting around to, this is the solar system, solar scope on Yah's computer for the coming eclipse, 3rd of October at 4:46 a.m. Tugum time, 2024, measuring the distance from Jupiter to the planets. There you have there from Jupiter to Saturn, Mars, Sun, Mercury, Venus, and the Earth. They total 3467, and then Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, total for all of them 116.65 astronomical units. So 3467 is to shut the eyes, blink, cannot see far off. You can look up the scriptures from 2 Peter 1:9. Hebrew Concordance 3467 is salvation from Isaiah 63, verse 5, my own arm shall bring my salvation. So, and it's what these solar eclipses are all about, Isaiah 63 verses 1 through to 6. Now in time, up there, from 3rd of October, Yah's departure, until 3rd of October, 731 days, or 104 weeks. It's exactly 100 at 7:37 tonight in 32 minutes' time. It will be exactly 104 weeks. However, by the time this eclipse occurs, Tugum time, it'll be 104 weeks and 3 days. So 1043 in the Greek Concordance, Gabriel the Archangel. 731 in the Greek Concordance in days is inexpressible, and cedar work in Hebrew. Cedar meaning royalty. Now 1166 in the Greek Concordance is show. This is what I'm doing from the Revelation 22:8. And in Hebrew Concordance it is marry, husband, dominion, and wife. Of interest, an eclipse occurred August the 10th, 3 BC, and it would have occurred over Easter Island. They would have been in the path of it then. So this being Yah born in the June 2 BC, so a little over 10 months after this eclipse occurred. And to finish, there he is. His Walter Brennan braces in my favourite Aloha shirt with the parrots on it. Now, I'll finish here. I'll say good night to everybody, and it is Monday, the 30th of September, and it is 7:06 p.m. Tugum time, Tugum, Queensland, Australia. So, the importance of Easter Island in Yah's revelation continues.